Welcome to Talking Business. I'm your host, Darcey Edwards with Queen Bee Leadership Training. Talking Business is just that. We are talking business with business leaders, leaders in the community, and those who change their communities with entrepreneurship. This podcast is presented by Xpose Hope as a thank you to the business community. Catch us on all the platforms. Find us, follow us, and review us. Hi, this is Darcey Edwards, and this is Talking Business. And today we have Elizabeth Case with Yellow Dog Consulting.
Here I am. Thanks so much for having me.
Consulting sounds so big and vast.
Yeah, it's a super vague word, huh?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, what could that be? So tell us what that is.
Yeah. So I started Yellow Dog Consulting 11 years ago to help my small business owner friends with their sales and marketing efforts. I discovered that a lot of small business owners need very specific things, and there wasn't an answer out there to help them. So really where I have niched in over my 11 years is email marketing. I'm now a certified MailChimp partner, and getting systems and schedules in place for small business owners.
I love that.
Yeah.
And because I know, because we chit-chatted, that you are not social media driven, which, to be honest, for entrepreneurs, thank you.
You're welcome.
Because that is such a huge, vast, every day it changes. The algorithm's always different, blah, 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 blah. And it's just a huge burden.
I know.
So finding someone who can help us do something in a very different realm is enlightening.
Yeah. And
thank you.
And it came from, I'm the marketing consultant who refuses to join Facebook. I just,
Awesome.
Yeah, it's not my jam. I'm on Instagram, so I'm still in the metaverse, whether I want to be or not.
Sure.
But that was not the right fit for me.
Right.
So it's really figuring out what are the social media channels that are the right fit for you and where your clients are hanging out and your target market is hanging out.
Right.
And what you're really going to do. Because as a small business owner, you have to manage your social media. I don't like people who outsource it and then you have somebody who doesn't understand what they're doing.
Yes.
So often we'll give it to a college student. Well, a college student doesn't have how many years of real estate experience, right? They know the tech and they can post it quickly, but they can understand the algorithm, but. So it's what's going to be the right fit for you and authentic for you, because that will come through to your audience.
Right. And people will say, and this was a good point you brought up, oh, email, nobody ever opens it. So let's talk about why you want to have that email come in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when the perfect timing-ish is to do that.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of a monthly newsletter.
Oh,
Get your name, right? Like, that's manageable.
Yeah.
It gets your name in their inbox on a regular basis when you're not harassing them or begging them for whatever your latest deal or special is because you're desperate and you haven't talked to them in months. But it gets you in there regularly. So when the time is right, they know you're alive and kicking and that you're able to take on new projects and clients and talk to them and answer their questions. So often, I get the email from somebody who says, okay, I've been reading your newsletter for however many years or however many months. It's time to finally talk to you about this.
Wow.
And it happens with my clients all the time too.
Actually, I will say, true story, because I do read your newsletter. But I also, once in a while, go to spam and I'll go, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There it is. And then it gets back into where I wanted it to go. So I can re-see those people. Yep. And to be honest, I never unsubscribe. I'm one of those people who doesn't, because I don't want to hurt their feelings. Yeah. So I don't unsubscribe.
Yep. That's hilarious, because the most therapy I do with my clients is, it is okay if somebody unsubscribes. You want people on your list who want to be on your list. And if they unsubscribed, it doesn't mean they hate you and that you're bad at your job or that you should just quit and go work somewhere else. It's just not the right fit for them. Maybe they manage their inbox differently than you do, right? I'm a big fan of getting myself to inbox 0 on a regular basis. I am an anomaly and I am well aware of that. So it's okay, right? They have to actively skip over your unread newsletter to get to the thing that they need to get to. And they'll find you when they need you. So showing up regularly is really
it's
helpful.
a part of the marketing. It's not the whole enchilada, so
absolutely.
To speak.
Yep. Yeah. Social media shouldn't be your end all be all. Your newsletter shouldn't be your end all be all. Networking should be a part of all of that too, of course.
Absolutely. Joining your chamber.
Absolutely.
Your local chamber. So with that, I was in a meeting with you and I heard you say this one sentence and I was just like listening to that going, I'm going to ask her about that.
Ooh.
So it was like, hey, I'm not taking any more clients.
Yeah.
I have my time is very valuable, whatever.
Yep.
So when do you make that decision? Because sometimes people overextend
Yep.
and they do it for years and years and years. And you're like, well, no, I have a hard no for this reason.
Yeah.
So where did you draw that line and how?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of not working with people who aren't the right fit for me. Just today, I'm working with a client that I'm kind of going, I'm not really sure this is going to be a long-term right fit. And that's okay, right? Sometimes you have to get into it and go, oh no. And sometimes you can tell right out the bat. And part of that is experience. I've had the company for 11 years, so I have a better idea of, nope, you're a hot mess. This isn't going to be the right fit. Or, yeah, this is going to work great. So for me, it's taking a look at my incoming clients, who is, in my prospect folder that might be showing up in the next few months. Do current clients have extra projects they want me to take on as we get towards the end of the year? And so I had the opportunity this year to run our state senator's election, her campaign. And so when she asked me if I would be interested in that, I had to look at my schedule and figure out, with all my other client workload, how would this work for me?
Right.
And I looked at it, had a great conversation with my business coach, and I went, I think, gotta love a business coach, you have to have that sounding board.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Queen Bee Leadership. Yeah, you should have a business coach.
You should have a business coach.
Absolutely.
So I called her and I said, I think if I maintain the current client load that I have, and knowing that summers are a little quieter for me, and I take on this campaign manager role and I don't take on any new clients until mid-November, I can make this work.
Right.
And so it's not I'm not taking clients for the next 3 years. I've had conversations with prospective clients, and I just say, I'll give you what you need so we can hit the ground running November 15th.
Right.
But I'm not taking on any new clients.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Exactly.
So boundaries.
Yeah. Very healthy boundaries.
Boundaries. Yeah. I'm a boundary girl myself.
Yes.
I love that. I'm like, yeah, you can't come over here.
Right.
But what I love about that is saying, hey, I'm booked for the moment, but it's not forever.
Right.
Like, let me keep you over here, and let's do a plan that really works. And so you can do those passion projects that you want to do.
Yep.
And that's where I think a lot of times I see this.
Yeah.
Business owners will say no to the good thing to keep a little thing.
Yeah.
And being able to say, you know what? I'm going to get rid of a little thing so I could do this big thing for 10 years down the road.
Right.
Because you don't know where all of that leads and all of those connections, and having that in your back pocket is like, yeah, I'll find a way to make that happen.
Right. You can always find time to make the things happen that you want to have happen, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. If you want something done, you ask the busiest person you know. Isn't that the
Right. Yes.
I hate being that busiest person
Yeah,
sometimes.
right. Hey, so how do you do that? And you're like, I don't know. So when asked to do this campaign management, have you done it before?
I have. This is my third campaign.
All right. So you've got some skin in the game. You know what you're doing here.
A little bit, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's super fun. It's running a campaign is a lot like helping market a small business. It's just a person, right? It's getting their story out there. It's finding those different touch points. So it's the newsletter, it's the different social media channels, it's the events, it's all those different pieces that are out there.
Right.
Yeah.
And
super
so
fun.
because social media isn't your thing, you have people, I'm guessing, that you're like, hey, I don't know this, but this person's a rock star, and we're going to connect you with them and have them do that.
Yeah.
When is the time for a business or a new business to contact you for consulting? Because it's a form of coaching, really.
Absolutely is.
It's a different, marketing coaching, really.
Right. Exactly.
But when is the time for them to do that?
There's never a wrong time. So some people come to me when they're like, I'm just getting started and I need to make sure I set up my systems and schedules out the gate correctly instead of having to come back. Others, they've been in business for a couple of years. Things are going fine. They might have plateaued. They're going, let's take a look at what's working and what's not working. So for some clients, it's some ongoing coaching where we work together for 6 months or a year on a monthly basis, and we just make sure the wheels are spinning and they're moving forward, and that somebody will tell them their baby is ugly, because that has to happen sometimes in your business. So, or make sure they're just staying on the right track.
Right.
Yeah. And for some, it's let's build a marketing plan, and then we kind of figure out what pieces go together and what they need to be doing, and they go and execute it. I always say to people, if there's somebody cheaper, smarter, or more efficient than you or me, let's go with that person.
Excellent.
Right.
Well, and that's really being conscientious of the client and doing what's right for them.
Absolutely.
That's like okay, so slightly real estate story.
Yeah.
You have to have a lot of different people to offer people. I'm going to say this. I don't care. If you're mad at me, a realtor, call me. Don't have just one mortgage person.
Right.
You need to have 3 or 4 people who can match with other. That's doing what's right for the client.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And that's where that success comes from. Is having that, and that's the beautiful thing of being a chamber member. I will say this, I'll toot it.
Absolutely.
Is you have this directory and you have a group of people that are your tool belt, right? Tools in your tool belt that you can refer out, and that all comes back. Right. And so I love that.
Yes. Same here. I always have lots of resources for people, and if I don't know, there's somebody in my network who does know.
Right.
I called you a couple weeks ago for something, actually, right? So, you just have to know. I don't have to know everything, but I know somebody who can get me what I need, and that is why we keep networking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when did you from the 11 years that you've been in business, what is one of your favorite success stories?
I have a client who I love. She was a referral from a friend I knew years ago in Seattle before I even started Yellow Dog Consulting. And she was referred to me, and she went from just take care of getting my newsletter out the door because I can write the content, but I hate MailChimp. It stresses me out so much. Right. To 3 newsletters a week and open rates that I don't tell people about because they're so great. I love working with her. I love, we have such a great rhythm in place. And she continues to see speaking engagements and coaching work coming from it because we're consistent. And even though it is way more than I typically recommend a client produce in content, that's sort of her jam, is being a content machine. And so getting those touch points to people in her network continues to love that. And I continue to be amazed by that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
that's
it's figuring out those right balances of
Yeah. That she knew better.
Right.
And that one thing of 3, and you're like,
I know. And she's like, okay, so we're going to do a Monday morning thing and 2 podcasts a month and then something every Saturday. And I went, that's a lot of talking to your network. And they all went, bring it. Yeah. Well,
I will say this, as a coach and having coaches, I read all their stuff.
Oh yeah, you have
and
to.
You have to, and I will listen to all their stuff. And so, that makes total sense. And so she had it dialed in. Yep. And having those clients. So the other thing about a boundary is, okay, so you have a life outside your business.
I do.
Really? Yeah. How dare you? How do you make time for all of those things? And you have an actual yellow dog.
I have a yellow dog and I have a chocolate dog. Norm and Cliff are my labs. Norm is 7 and Cliff is 3, and they are enough so that we are childless by choice. That's all we need.
Yeah. 2 labs will do that to you.
2 labs will do that to you. But I don't know how, but I've always done it since I started my company. It really has been about having boundaries, right? I started the company because we had adopted our first yellow lab, Hank, and then we were paying a dog walker and a dog sitter to take care of him because we were gone all the time. And I went, so I wanted to do this, and I was not enjoying the marketing firm I was at. And all my small business owner friends were calling saying, I need help. And I was like, well, here's this expensive package we can put you in that's not really what you need. And I said, who do you refer these people to? And he's like, I don't have anybody. And I went, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do that. And that's where it came from, was, okay, let's do that. And then I was able to build those boundaries from the beginning of, we get up, we go for a dog walk. We don't check, we don't start doing email at 6:30 in the morning. We get our day going, and then we do it. And if we need to take time out in the middle of the day, you just get it done.
Right.
So, and I over communicate with my clients too, and just say, okay, if you want this out the door on Tuesday, then I need it by the previous Thursday, so I have time to build it and test it and work with you on it. And so, if they don't get me stuff on time, they know, they're paying for my time and my expertise. And so if they don't get it on time, then we get it in where we can. So I'm not going to change my schedule. That a lack of planning on your part doesn't necessitate an emergency on mine.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do have kids, and
you do.
We've actually said that multiple times, and to my corgi.
Oh yes.
Winston, it is not about you.
Winston, no. Exactly. Yep. Yeah.
So when you're looking for people to help build around you, how do you kind of do that thing of knowing it's a good client or not.
Yeah.
Like, what are some of the red flags that you kind of look for? Because I think a lot of times people will overlook it, like a bad boyfriend. Right. And they'll go, oh my gosh, yeah, he was texting another girl when we went on a date, but I married him thinking that would go away.
Right.
It does not. So,
it was oddly specific, my friend.
It's not for me.
I know it's not.
It's just, I don't know why that came up.
Yeah,
Actually,
but it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what are some red flags so that people know when they're doing stuff, when they're talking to people, like, oh, this may not be a good fit, and it's okay to say it's not. I should refer it out to somebody else.
Right. Having a coach really helps to help you figure out what your boundaries are. What do I enjoy doing? What do I not enjoy doing? So for the first few years, I kind of took any small business that came to me because I knew so many people from all my years of networking that it was like, yeah, I can help you with that. Sure, we'll figure that out together. Then I went, oh, I don't like doing that. This makes me angry. Like it just like it's not a good use of my expertise. And so I really like these pieces of it, putting the systems and schedules together, helping you stay on top of getting your monthly newsletter out the door, like, you know, talking through projects with you and making sure you're staying on task. And I don't enjoy writing. So the fun thing about me is I make sure people get their newsletter out the door. I do not write their newsletter for them. I know. And everybody goes, wait,
shocking.
I'm sorry.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Pull over.
Right? That's the big thing is I'm like,
right.
no, I'm not going to write it for you. I'm not your voice. And because I work with so many coaches and consultants, your voice is what you are, right? Like that's who we are. Your personality has to shine through. I have a very specific personality. It includes talking in a lot of slang, occasional 4-letter words, and a lot of pop culture references.
Sure.
That's not for everyone.
Right.
I do attract a few of those clients, which is a blast, but you know, some are more rigid and professional, and that's just fine.
And we have to stay on that track.
We have to stay on that track, which means to be their voice.
I love that because I did pay for someone to do creation, like on Instagram or whatever. And I looked at the counts, and a very random post I made about something super random got like hundreds of hits more than that. And I was like, and we're done.
Right. Yeah.
Because they could never get the voice right.
No.
I mean, they could do the right words, but the words didn't make sense. Right?
Yeah. You have to, like, you are the voice of your company as a small business owner. And so you have to be the voice, which is where it goes back to, I don't do social media for you because I think as a small business owner, you need to be in charge of that. Like you need to be your own voice. You know, I say it a lot with people running for office as well. You are your own voice and you need to know what's going, like you need to be paying attention to what your constituents are saying, the questions that are out there, the attacks that are being made against you.
Right.
Yeah, and be able to respond to those quickly. And you can do that better than anyone else.
Absolutely. And I could say this because I know who that person is. You do a great job, and she's everywhere, and she talks all the time, and her voice is very clear and very easy to hear.
Yeah.
And so you did a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
So
thank you.
Hoping.
Gonna be okay. 4 weeks.
Right.
We're gonna make it.
So where can people connect with you after?
Yes.
December.
Yeah, exactly. November 9th.
Yeah.
I'll be sleeping all day.
We're not, about the 15th.
Right, exactly. About the 15th. That sounds great. Thanksgiving-ish. It'll be good. You can find me at yellowdogconsulting.com. I'm very active on Instagram and Twitter at EJCase is my Twitter handle and my Instagram account. And I'm also on LinkedIn. I know, all sorts of fun places to find me. And of course, the Washington County Chamber of Commerce.
Absolutely, the
always.
chamber of choice.
Exactly.
Deanna, I love that. Chamber of choice.
Love it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been
great.
so fun.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Hi, this is Betty Campbell with Xpose Hope with your Xpose Hope moment for today. Did you know that human trafficking has actually surpassed weapons trafficking in the world? It has. That's why ministries like Xpose Hope are so important. Help our outreach by donating at xposehope.com/donate. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Talking Business, brought to you by Xpose Hope. We can be found on all of your favorite podcast platforms, YouTube, iTunes, all of them. Also, be sure to like us, share us, and leave a comment. Who do you want to hear from? We want to know.